Mm. What's up, Harry? All right, there we go. Okay. Oh boy. Something like that. Basically, the idea is to just mine for a certain amount of time uh instead of doing it chunk by chunk. Means I can mine more on my work days. So I don't have to mine so much on my off days. I think 2.5 hours is enough to do like I don't know, 1.5, anywhere between 1.5 and 1.8. Something to that effect. But yeah, I think it'll be good for me to do it this way. Just means I can actually make faster progress overall. So yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be a little strange, but I think it will be net positive for me. Alright. Oh yeah, this chunk has a dungeon. That's fun. I know a lot of Instamine right at the top. Partially lurking. Alright, sounds good. Oh, did we get anything cool in here? Not really. 1.61803 chunks. Let's hope, man. Let's hope. How you doing, Bat? Currently in a dumb state of mind. There. You have a feeling you have to lock in, but you actually have nothing you need to do for tonight. It's time to lock in on video game. So you need to lock in, but not on video game. I cannot help. Good luck. I am currently locking in the video game. Open than me doing very little tonight and your field work tomorrow not being very intense will get you back in a normal state of mind again. Yeah. Hopefully it's a decent mental reset, but just do your best. That's all you can do, you know? A non-zero chance you'll be at it for 30 hours in a row, Thursday, Friday. That's pretty crazy. Why would you need to do that? 7 hours of field course, and maybe helping with bat trapping. Yeah, about 16 hours, a lot of travel time. And getting back to another 7 hours of field course. Oh boy. Yeah, honestly, probably a good idea if you are able to. Although I'm not gonna lie, sleeping in anything that isn't a bed is so hard for me. Every time I try sleeping in a car, or used to try and sleep in a car, because, you know, I do most of my own driving now, I can't do it. It's just like, there's just no comfortable position. And same thing with flying as well. Like, the last time I flew was, to come to Utah, and it was just like... I mean, I was probably also unable to sleep just because, like, I was excited to be leaving to go finally meet going for first time in person, but, you know, it was like... Still, like, I tried, and it's just impossible, man. Yeah, I feel like the only way for me to sleep in modes of transportation like that is just to be really tired, but it's not very usual for me to be that tired and not also have access to the bed. Or like a bed. But yeah, good luck if that's really what ends up happening. I mean, you're doing it to do something you really like. Hopefully, so... At least you got that going for you. Going for the low game, yeah. Good luck. Yeah, I think that will most likely be the experience. Unless you just realize, like, wait, actually I hate animals and I actually really want to do stock trading instead. Could always happen. accidentally walked into a large field of poison ivy earlier. That sounds like a great time. God, my skin is getting itchy just thinking about that. I feel like saying that you walked into poison ivy works better than you were manually itchy or something. Covered up well, didn't seem like you got any rash from it. Hopefully. You better hope. What's up, Green? How you doing? I'm tired, but I'm chunking, so we take those. Really enjoy these big projects. Yeah. It's pretty relaxing. No matter how your life changes, always have a sense of familiar coming here. I do wonder what I'm gonna do once I finish this. I actually don't have any plans for another project. Or plans to expand this project. I mean, I could. It's a possibility, but no actual plans for that. That would be quite difficult considering I've never done or played Guitar Hero. It might ride any percent speedruns. Oh boy. Digging chunks just a metaphor of life at this point. Is it? What lesson are we taking away from this? We are actively being hollowed out. True. I know how to hotkey right now. Nice. Wonder if someone got a DTFC on this. I feel like MREC probably did. Paranoid Lost. Hello Z. I don't think I will be doing that. Mainly just because I don't really take song requests. Jonathan Swag 83. How you doing? Well, you're in luck. I got chunk mining for distraction if you need one. Been so sleepy coming home. When you go on Monday, you fell asleep immediately. Huh. I don't know. After school or after work is usually when I'm my most awake, or at least most energized to do things. So I can't imagine just coming home and sleeping immediately. Get a sleepy kind of fellow. Fair enough. I mean, I feel a little sleepy right now, but it's because I worked an 11-hour shift, and the only break I had that entire time was a 30-minute lunch. Did not have time for any other breaks, so I am physically dead. I think the work is also just taxing it with indices, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it just depends on what kind of job you have, but like, I don't know, my motivation is always the highest after I finish work, so I can never come home unless like I just have like a really bad day. Like I never come home and be like, well, I'm gonna do no gaming and I'm going right to bed. Like that just doesn't really happen. I might be a little sleepy while I'm gaming, but I don't really need to be super awake when I do this anyways. Maybe it doesn't make for the best, stream, I suppose, but... I think if you were to try and do that, you actually might find that chunk mining actually makes you sleepier. Unless you're, like, really into it. But if you're not fully into it, then I feel like it wouldn't help you actually stay awake. This is Demetori, it is. I think this is from the last album they released a couple years ago. I hope they make at least one more album, but it's been like 4 years, so... I mean, I think their sound has evolved for sure. Like, it's still very much Demetori, but I do think that their first albums definitely had a different tone to them. I don't know, Demetori is just awesome, so I don't really care that much. I will say though, their first album is like one of the only albums I will actually ever sit down and listen to in one go and like really enjoy it. I'm not really a big music guy, so for me that feels like a big thing. Some of the first albums you download onto your phone were Toho ones because it's relatively easier. Got some Dementoria ones on there. Yeah. I mean, I think Dementoria's first album, I think I have literally every song aside from the one interlude in my playlist. The album's kind of crazy. I mean, Eastern Dream is just such an awesome song. Making something like that on your first album is kind of insane to me. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I really should listen to some of the older Undead Corp albums. There's some songs that were mapped a long time ago on OSU that I really like. I mean, I don't really care that much for, like, Everything Will Freeze. I mean, the song's cool, but it's not really something I want to actually listen to on its own anyways. Yeah, I think Undead Corp is a little different vibe for me. It's certainly not on the same level as Dementory for like listenability or like re-listening to. But I think I have a couple Undead Corp songs in my playlist regardless. Excuse me. I also just haven't updated my playlist in a while. I really should. I'm just a really lazy guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think for a lot of songs, I usually prefer instrumental, though. I really like instrumental pieces of music. Maybe that's why I also vibe with Dementory so much. That too. I don't think the vocals in a lot of Undead Corpse songs are my favorite. So, but I don't know. I really like instrumental music. Or if I do like vocal music, it's usually Japanese music where I don't understand anything anyways. So to me, it is basically just instrumental. Which is kind of funny. Maybe that's why you tend not to like Japanese vocals in general? Because you don't really understand it? That's interesting. I think for me that's why I like Japanese vocals, because I don't understand it. To me, the vocals are just another instrument at that point. That's how I feel about it. No thoughts, head empty. Bread. Oh shoot. You just reminded me, I bought some breadsticks. I need to put them on the counter. Still in my backpack. They'll be fine, but I almost forgot about those. I love bread. Yeah, it was about this close. I did use my hand there, so hopefully you were able to see that. I see. I think for me, I just legitimately struggle to parse out lyrics. Do we have that emote? If not, we could add it. I thought we did. I don't really remember. But yeah, I think for me, I just really struggle, even, like, just in English. Like, even non-metal songs, I just legitimately cannot parse out lyrics from songs. I feel like maybe I'm crazy, but, like, I feel like for some reason people just refuse to enunciate while they sing. And for me, that's really hard to parse out when I'm trying to actually understand what they're saying. I'm not very good at understanding very poorly enunciated words. I also didn't grow up listening to music, so I feel like I never developed that skill, and I never tried to actually focus on lyrics as a result. And when I played Osu, I was too focused on the gameplay a lot of times to be listening to music either, so... Oh, that one worked. Oh, the is lowercase. Okay. Incredible. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you're in the Discord or not, but I am not ending the session after this singular chunk. We are going to be moving away from doing strict chunk mining to more time-based mining. So I will leave chunks partially completed at end of sessions. But not this one. This one will be done today. That is 3:04. So let's punch that in. 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 49 seconds. Diamonds, 30. Diamond ore. Oh, 4940. So that is 19. And then blocks and deep slate. Screenshot. Four, 4, 3. Okay, so blocks mined. Calculator 15262. And then deep slate 13,310. Very nice. Okay. And I think, yeah, that was 304, correct. Okay, cool. You like to see that? Okay. And then, yeah, we are gonna start on this next chunk, but I for sure will not be able to complete this one unless it ends up being extremely quick, like 1 hour long. I don't think that's gonna happen, though. Oh. Be very shocked if this chunk was somehow only an hour long. Alright. Let me drink some water real quick and then we'll get started. Messing with my keybinds just to remember which one is actually pause instead of end. Did you ever dig an offset chunk, or is it illegal if it's not fully contained within official borders? What do you mean by an offset chunk? I think I do not understand what you mean exactly by that. Oh boy. Like offset it by 1x or z. So you mean like not within an actual chunk? That would be really stupid if I did it that way. because then my spreadsheet would be completely messed up. Because at some point, I would have to pay for the sins of the offset, and then it just wouldn't make sense anymore. And also, that would just be needlessly complicated, so there's no reason for me to ever do that. This is a very low-thinking type project. I don't want to complicate it randomly by doing stuff like that. Plus, I just think it's more satisfying to do it like this anyway, so no need to change it up in such a dramatic fashion. I can find different ways to change things up. I mean, I'm currently in the process of creating a grid-like pattern, but of course that's going to take dozens of hours to see the fruits of my labor, so in the moment it doesn't really look like I'm doing anything different. But from above it is going to be different. Because the first quadrant of the area I mined, I did like a staircase or like a wave out. I don't really know exactly how to describe it, but I think this time I want to do more of like a grid pattern. I think that would look cool in aerial screenshots. Speaking of which, I really need to do. I need to make an update screenshot sometime. I haven't done that in a while, but that's okay. But yeah, I explained it already on Discord, but basically I'm just doing it this way so that way I can actually fit more mining time onto my work nights, because I do have the time to do more than one singular chunk, but I pretty much never have enough time to actually do 2 full chunks, so if I limit myself to doing strictly by chunk, then I'm kind of throwing away a lot of time that I could be using to getting this project done a little quicker. Time that I'm not really using wisely at night anyways, frankly. Especially on nights where my girlfriend works at night. Can't really do much on those nights anyways. But yeah. Hopefully this means I can make faster progress, or at the very least, keep up the progress I have been doing, but without needing to do 12-hour sessions. I'm very much realizing that I'm just not built like that anymore. I feel like 8 hours, maybe 9 hours is like the most I'm willing to tolerate these days, unless I'm super motivated, which has happened. But I feel like the last really long session I did 2 days ago, I was like, not that I didn't enjoy it, but by the end of it, I was kind of like mush, and I don't really like that feeling very much. So, yeah. I think it'll be better to spread out the time a little more. I just need to figure out exactly how much time, just so that way I am making the progress I need to, because I want to be able to hopefully finish this project in July of next year, if possible. And the only way to do that is to do a little over 2 chunks every day, which would not be possible with my old schedule of doing it by strict chunk numbers. That just doesn't really, like, make sense. I think if I remember, like, the mining time I need to do is, like, it's like 22 and a half. I could round it up to 23 hours of mining time a week. At least assuming that the number of chunks I need to do is, like, an average of 95 minutes or something like that. I think right now the average has been sitting around like 93 minutes for all the chunks put together, but like if we just round it up, I think it's like 25 hours of mining time a week. So still quite a bit, still kind of difficult to do, but if I do the like 2.5 hours of mining time on my work days, then let's see, that's 4 days, so that's 10. No, wait. 4. 2.5. Yeah, that's 10. No. Dude, I'm so brain dead right now. Yeah, that's 10. Duh. Yeah, although I'm doing slightly more than 2.5, but I think with distractions and punching stuff into the spreadsheet and all that, it'll average out to 2.5 hours of mining time. But yeah, 10 hours, so I would still need to find time to do like 16 hours. At least if I want to like outpace the amount I need to do to get it done even quicker, but like bare minimum I would need to find time to do 14 hours of mining time in a 3-day time span, which that's still pretty difficult, but definitely more feasible. I don't know, I haven't fully mathed it out or planned it out, but I think with what I'm doing right now, I will be getting more done, or at the very least get the same amount done without needing to do crazy long sessions, which I'm really trying to avoid. I don't want to do super long sessions unless I have a good reason for it. Honestly, I do think, though, with what I'm doing, there's just not going to be too much time for me to do any other gaming. At least not on stream. Like, it's just gonna be Minecraft. I don't think there's really a point for me to play Osu currently. And honestly, maybe I really should take a break from Osu. Like, ever since completion, I've never really fully taken it like a real break. I've always clocked in some amount of playtime every month. But maybe I should just finally let go. Yeah. I mean, I've taken like 2 to 3 week breaks before, but never like a month-long plus break. Mainly from hand issues. But that hasn't stopped me from still playing as soon as I feel like I can. I've never really allowed myself, since I started playing in 2013, to like really fully quit. Eat breakfast most days. For most of my life, I actually didn't eat breakfast, but as of like a month or two ago, I finally started forcing myself to eat breakfast. I just work too long to not eat breakfast. So I really need to eat in the morning, or else I crash really hard at work. Thinking about skipping and lose weight. I think what's worked for me when it comes to losing weight has been just having like 2 really good meals a day, and then like high volume, low calorie snacks. If you feel like you really still need something. So like popcorn or yogurt. obviously without a ton of added sugar. But yeah, I think for me, like, I think what I'm realizing is that like for breakfast, I really need it to be my highest like energy meal. So like very heavy on the protein, like protein and a good amount of carb as well. Because just because like my job is pretty physically intensive, just by the nature of it being like 11 hours of kitchen work by the end of it. So, like, I really need something to get me, like, through most of that day before I have a proper lunch. Because the worst is when you're really hungry, but it's also, like, the most busy part of your day, so there's no time to take a break. And also, I just hate being hungry. It's one of my least favorite feelings, so... But yeah, I mean, I've lost a considerable amount of weight from doing that. I've been slacking a little bit, but I feel like I've finally gotten myself back on track. I just need to stop having high calorie snacks, especially on my weekends. That's usually when it's been the biggest problem. So I should work on that. But I think I've been doing pretty good overall. Used to be underweight, but then you put in effort to gain weight, and then you just kind of never stop and can't eat really big portions. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not sure I can help you with that, though, just because, like, I don't think there was ever a time in my life where I could have considered myself underweight. Not any time in, like, recent memory, anyways. I'm a foodie. I love food. But I'm also a lot better about, like, portion control than I used to be. Honestly, for me, like, just the biggest thing for me was, like, I just like eating a big amount of food, so finding stuff that's really low calorie but high volume is that like you actually enjoy. That's what makes it like very easy to do, relatively easy to do anyways. And of course things that are like high in protein and fiber as well. Just things that actually make you feel full. Guess I gotta start on skier? What is that? Like an Icelandic yogurt that's low calorie, high protein. Is it like similar to like non-fat Greek yogurt then? I think that's the most common yogurt here for that type of purpose. Ten grams per 100 gram, 0.2 fat. I do wonder how that compares to Greek yogurt. Specifically the non-fat variant. Although 100 grams is kind of a small portion. I usually eat like a whole cup of yogurt, so like I think that's like around 225, 230 grams. That's the portion of yogurt I eat to feel happy, and I think the calories on that much yogurt is really low still for Greek yogurt. Which is good. I don't need that on. Technically a cheese, okay. I mean, that sounds like a good option. I just whatever tastes better to you as well. That's another really important thing. Like for me, I can eat non-fat Greek yogurt. Like I don't really have an issue with it, but I really do prefer like the whole milk yogurt. So sometimes I get that instead. And honestly, the calorie and protein difference is not that bad. So like it's still a really good food for you, the whole milk version. So there's no shame in getting something like that. Honestly, just yeah, like my another piece of advice is get what actually makes you want to eat food and not feel like dying or like just starving yourself as the better option. Like you actually want to eat tasty food that's low calorie if you want to lose weight. Or I mean like obviously yeah, you need less calories than you need to eat less calories to lose weight, but like you don't gotta cut out tasty food. You just gotta portion control depending on the type of food, you know? I mean you probably know that, but it definitely was something that even though I understood, it took me a while to really like get it, you know what I mean? Like I had to actually be like, okay, what can I eat without completely destroying my cravings, you know? Like, even though I'm a lot better at portion control than I used to be, I can still eat an entire pizza in one sitting, like a 3,000 calorie pizza. And that's obviously gonna completely destroy me for the day, like calories wise, so it's just one of those things where it's like, well, I do like pizza, but pizza is very hard for me to portion control, so I try not to eat it very much. Can eat mayo and fries is fine. Yeah. I mean, fries, honestly, for me, is one of those foods that I actually have kept in my diet because, one, I love fries. I'm never giving up fries, but honestly, especially if you do fries in the air fryer, you aren't going to be adding a ton of unnecessary calories to it, and it can still taste really good. So that's something to keep in mind. And yeah, mayo is another thing I definitely have regularly. I just I go light on it because, you know, it is a really high calorie condiment. But not having mayo on like a sandwich is really sad. One thing I actually have been using a lot is this product, Sriracha Mayo, and it's really good. I think it's a little bit lower calorie because obviously some of it is sriracha instead of mayo in the same portion. And I like the flavor of sriracha, so it's kind of like a win-win. A tasty mayo that isn't as high calorie, but also has like a spicy flavor as well. Yeah. Although honestly, another thing that's been I've been slowly incorporating more and more into my meals is like a chili crisp type thing or like chili paste. Just like a spicy, maybe garlicky type thing to add flavor to my dish, and it's like lower calorie than even like sriracha mayo. I mean, it doesn't scratch the same itch as mayo does, but it's just an option. Yeah. But yeah, I think the best thing to do is definitely like I mean, you can do 3 meals. You just gotta be very careful with how big those meals are. But yeah, either 2 to 3 meals, and then if you do need snacks, do something that's like actually satisfying. Like if you do potato chips, you're gonna ruin yourself, even if they are yummy, delicious. And I mean, I'm not perfect about this at all, by the way. Like I have some relatively high calorie snacks in my cabinet right now, but I'm trying not to eat them every day, at the very least. You'd rather eat 2 normal-sized meals than 3 small ones? I feel like I agree, honestly. I think what I've been doing lately, especially if I'm gonna stick to the schedule I'm doing, I just don't have time to cook another meal when I get home. Because either I would have to cook it really quickly and try to stuff it down right before I stream, or I would have to make a meal like right before I go to bed. And I don't want to do either of those things. What I did do though is I made myself a little yogurt bowl. I did some yogurt. I've been consuming this like peanut powder product. It's like peanut butter but like lower calorie. And I've been liking that. So I did that yogurt, peanut powder. I did a little unsweetened cocoa powder, and then just a little dash of maple syrup for sweetness, like 25 calories worth. So like and it was like a whole cup of yogurt. So it was a very satisfying meal. Nice little sweet treat to the end of the day, but like actually still very low calorie. And like not insanely high in sugar. But then yeah, I think like my breakfast I try to do something relatively high in protein. High in protein and high in carb. And then my lunch is just whatever I feel like I can scrounge together. Whatever packs well from the freezer or from the fridge. I try to do like rice bowls and stuff, but I don't want to like have 2 of those in the same day. It's not that good. Yeah, peanut butter I feel like is definitely American. By the way, like even though I grew up in this country, I actually didn't grow up eating very much peanut butter. It's definitely one of those things I've only learned to eat in the last like half decade or so. Just cuz like my family's not like white American, so we didn't really eat peanut butter. And as far as I'm aware, peanut butter is not a thing or not popular at all in my family's home country. But yeah, there's honestly, if you don't have a craving for peanut butter though, then don't add peanut butter to your diet. Peanut butter is very high calorie compared to what you get out of it. That's why I'm doing the peanut powder, because it's a lower calorie alternative. Oyster sauce. Oh yeah, I need to use Worcestershire sauce. No idea how you're supposed to say that. But I just don't really know what I'm supposed to use it for. Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Whatever. I know a lot of people in this country call it wash your sister sauce. Because that's just straight up easier to say. And it's silly. But yeah, I don't really know what's the use case for that. I have a bottle of it in my fridge, but I've never been brave enough to actually use it for anything. I'm scared. Like, none of the foods I make call for using Worcestershire sauce. Pasta bolognese. I don't know if I've ever had that. I actually don't know what that is off the top of my head. I don't eat a lot of pasta. The only pasta I have in any frequency is literally just ramen. Which I try not to have too much of, because it's very high sodium. Although I do love a good sodium bomb. Bolognese sauce. I mean, from my understanding, I've heard that Worcestershire sauce is good for, like, beef. So, I could believe that. It's just the problem is I don't really cook beef at home anymore. Not very much. Because, like, I'm low-key just not trying to buy beef very much anymore. Especially because, I mean, it's not good for the planet, but also it's just so expensive. Like, compared to chicken, it's basically, depending on the sales going on and whatnot, it's like double the price of chicken. Which is crazy. Because, like, to me, beef does not taste 2 times better than chicken. I know it's not based on taste alone, anyway. I mean, really at all, but... They go on rice dishes also, yeah. I mean, it probably could. I've just never tried. I'm also just kind of autistic about my food. I mean, okay, kind of is an understatement. I like eating the same things, and I'm very slow to adapting new foods into my diet, especially if it's stuff that I don't naturally already enjoy. So I think that's also why I'm hesitant to ever try. I also feel like being autistic about food, depending on how it goes, it can either be a really good thing or a really bad thing when it comes to weight loss. Because if you're autistic about all the food that is good for weight loss, then you're good to go. And I think for me, like, I've been definitely getting better about that. Like, a lot of my new favorite comfort foods are definitely on the lower calorie end. But if you are autistic about the food in a way where it's like, I only want, like, chicken tendies and pizza, then it's like, well, that's gonna be kind of hard. That will be hard. Not impossible, but it's very hard to eat a diet of chicken tendies and pizza and lose weight without feeling like you're starving. You'd have to be very meticulous about it. Yeah, and that's the same thing for me. I'm just not quick to add things to my diet unless I already know that I like either the individual components of those ingredients or like something else. Like I have some familiarity with it already. Just never thought to actually consume it more or consume it in a new way, perhaps. Because I mean, for me, honestly, yogurt was really one of those foods. I've always liked yogurt, but there was just a period where I just didn't really buy yogurt because like I just kind of like didn't think about it. But now I always have yogurt in the fridge. Yogurt is just very versatile. Like previously, I haven't had the need to add Worcestershire sauce to anything because you already make food with that you already like. But I don't know, it's because kind of like adding salt to the end of a dish. You just add a little something every now and then. Yeah, I mean it probably is just one of those ingredients that's like if you don't have it, you probably still can enjoy your food, but maybe once you add it, you're like, oh, I want this in my food. I feel like another ingredient that I definitely am sleeping on is MSG. Especially because I do make a lot of rice dishes. But again, for me, it's the same thing like Worcestershire sauce, where it's just like, I'm just scared to add it to my food, because like, what if I add too much and then I just ruin my meal and I'm sad because I'm very autistic about food, so I can't eat things I'm sad about. Alright, sounds good. I'll probably be ending my stream in like 20 minutes, so thank you for tuning in. Have fun with your obligations. Okay, once I finish this double layer, I will leave that for today, and then we will continue this chunk tomorrow. Okay. We will have to leave it there. I'll be back tomorrow night to finish this chunk and start on the next one.